It's just so subtle. Very, 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 very subtle. I forgot we gotta put this to art. Let's work on the hardest areas first. I'm gonna turn off the air conditioner. I wish it was so much quieter. Because then it wouldn't be as annoying. I feel like it's just so loud. Like people that join the stream, they're just like, ugh! What is that? It's just blaring wind in the background. So I apologize for that. You know, I am making subtle revisions when I'm doing this. Just because I keep messing up. I'm just kind of like going with the mistakes. Is this in copyright? I don't think it is. I think... Oh no, I clicked on something else. No, it's not on copyright. The actual song this chick's saying.
It's easy, like a baby crawling. It's easy, like talking to my mother. It's easy, opening your eyes and locking the door and stepping outside. It's easy, feeding the birds. It's easy, you're not saying a word. It's easy, putting your head down, turning your back, keeping your It's easy, giving up. It's easy, looking away. It's easy, sugar coated. It's easy, just to stay. It's easy, it's easy, it's easy, It's easy, like a baby crying. It's easy, feeling forgotten. It's easy, as opening your eyes, locking the door, stepping outside.
Ooh, I messed up right there, but oh well. Yeah, I messed up right there. Wow. Okay. New song. Let's see. We're entering into stuff that I've actually never listened to. Is this on copyright free? Oh wow, this is copyright free. There's an actual song this chick's singing. First time listening to it. Let's see how it is. Oh wow, I did not think it was gonna be like this. What is this? Did she actually write this song? There's no way this chick wrote this song, I don't think. Wait, I got confused right there. I guess it's hair. What do you mean it doesn't go? I can't believe that's not a copyright though. I'm pretty sure she's singing a different song. I don't think it's that actual song. Dude, that part was cool. I really liked that. That was all like math rocky. Really good song. Dude, that was a really good song. I wish there was more like... What about this? I've never heard this. So, I don't know what we're listening. I've never heard this song before, so... I don't know about this one. I don't know about that. As long as a little too, what is this? I've never heard this song before. This song sounds like one of those like 90s like Blink 182 beats or something. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I guess we will, because the shoulder pads are kind of like that. Might make them a little bit smaller though. Yeah. These are just things I'm doing on the fly right now, just because we're gonna change it up a little bit more. Oh, that's a new video. Watch Girls BMX. Girls X Games. I guess I can make this bigger now. That was a pretty cool song. I was happy. What is that one? Okay. Should I put up the volume for this? Oh, I don't know if I can listen to the volume. They're talking too fast for me. I mean, maybe we can. I just feel like nah, I don't know if that's so bad for me right now. It's out in the background. I'm gonna change this up. We're just doing that on the fly. I don't even know if I'm gonna do it right. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to do it on that side. I shouldn't have done that. Oh.
Dejani.
It's funny, actually, I rode with this chick at Woodward. Nina? She's been around for a while. a cool song. What about this song? This is another free song. We're just on a chill playlist now. Or not playlist, but just... Is this copyright free? Is this copyright free? This is copyright free. I'm gonna actually change this a bit right here. And I messed that up. Darn. I'm gonna change that cross too. That cross I don't think is even, is it? Wow, I'm gonna have to just redraw. I'll do that after. Just keep moving on. Ooh, weird. There's like a beat in the background of this song. I don't know about that, huh? It does have a cross in it, though. Strangely enough, this song actually does have a cross in it. Huh. Let's do it. I'm gonna listen to it just because this song has a cross in it. Let's redo that cross. Let's see what is there. I feel like that's not how that cross would be, huh? That was a very quick song. About this one. I don't know about these beats. I'm gonna have to change it, everybody. I feel like these beats are these beats where like they say it's copyright free, and then just later on they put a copyright on it. Oh well, if I upload it then on YouTube, then I'm just gonna have to change the music. I don't know about this beat either. Keep moving on. Let's rouse a little kitty. Okay, we need different music. What about this song? Is this on a new copyright-free thing?
Cold filtered, cold packaged, Coors Light.
Is this copyright-free? This is copyright-free. Oh, you almost got most of this done. Now we just gotta. We've entered into a weird. Oh, I'll keep listening to it. I normally don't listen to stuff like this, I'm gonna be honest, but. Let's draw this bike. I'm gonna change it to BMX streets just because of drawing a bike. BMX streets. Can I join the BMX? Am I cool enough to be a part of the BMX crew? Like, am I cool enough? We were drawing a BMX site. She's got leaf axles. That's funny. Dude, she's a pegless flatlander. If you guys want a challenge, try pegless flatland. I messed that up right there. I don't know about this bee, huh? I feel like I'm like more like math rock guitar beat. A lot of this stuff is kind of like pop punk. She got a little flatland stem. We need more chicks riding flatland, so. Draw this little flatland stem. I like drawing levers. It's fun. confusing. What am I even drawing here? There's just so much stuff in there. I'm confused. Okay, so there's the cable. The cable is the vine. Let's just get this. Let's actually get this whole monkey right here out of the way. That's good comedy right there.
AJ and Joey, OGs in your.
You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Medalla, the mark of a fighter.
She got the trial, or I guess a flatline sprocket. Oh, I think I messed this pen up. Darn. I like pushed on it too hard and now it's bleeding out. Hello. Wait, did you just say that? This is my girlfriend. No, this is not my girlfriend. This is a random character. That's funny though. You made me laugh. You got a Joker in here, huh? Oh, it's all good, brother. It's all good, dude. I mean, one of the reasons what's kind of cool is like drawing the chicks and then drawing the BMX bike is I was told from, a certain birdie, actually a couple birdies up in the Flatland scene, is that the reason why, there's a commercial right up. The reason why Flatland BMX is not in the Olympics is because there's not enough women riding Flatland BMX. So now I'm like, well, how could we get more chicks to ride Flatland BMX? Well, I guess I could, I don't know what to really do, but I like to draw characters, so now I could draw a chick character and then boom, put a Flatland bike or something. Even though this is like pegless Flatland, which is completely insane to get into. There's a certain type of insanity you have to be to do pegless Flatland. Because like, Flatland's hard in general, but if you get into pegless Flatland, that's like just a whole nother like realm of just craziness. What are you up to, man? My bad if I wasn't as responsive. Sometimes when I'm riding my bike, I just like, I get on like, I'm just like, I just want to land a line, so sometimes I'm not as talkative or just aware. I went to a sub restaurant. Her name was D. Are you gonna joke me with that? I'm already calling it out. What, D's? Okay, let's see here. Let's draw this tire up in here. Tires are like the hardest part of the bike. I feel like I messed that part up right there. I don't know what I'm doing right there. I guess we can go back in later. One little monkey, two little monkey. Oh wait, let's see. I said to her, D, your name reminds me a lot of what my grandma would say whenever she would feed the chickadee. She would say, here, chickadee, D. I said chickadee to her when she's, oh, that's cool. I you never know, man. I say, just level up your charisma, dude. Read aloud. I actually think reading aloud is helps a lot. Because there's one thing about reading in the mind, but reading aloud definitely changes a lot of aspects of vocal acuities. It's actually very strange. I mean, I honestly think it changes your speech patterns so much that I'm surprised more people, like, there's not just like this thing where, you know, just let's read aloud, everybody. It actually helps people converse. Or maybe I'm just a crazy person and I just think that, but I did hear a pastor say something about it too, so. Because the reason why he said it was he said faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God or something like that. And then he like related it to us like proclaiming the gospel, because it's weird because that verse says hear the word of God, and instead of like, oh, read the word of God or something. I don't know. He said something. I'm butchering what he's saying, so. She would put some seeds in her hand, then they would come and eat inside her hand in the country. Huh. And it's very hot in here, everybody, again. Unfortunately, I had to turn on the AC, so I apologize. I wish I could just have it quiet like this, but now it's hot in my room. I feel like when I put the AC on, it's just like so loud. We are drawing a little bird right here. I know, come to Canada. Do you know Andy Anderson? There's a skateboarder, his name's Andy Anderson. He's from Canada. That's a weird bend right there for that bike. I don't know how I'm gonna do this cable. I literally had to change it on the spot right there because I messed up. You ever watch the X Games? This is recently. It just happened last week. Darn, this is sketchy. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just like, that was very challenging right there. We still have great summers. It goes between 77 and 95. That's rough. Yeah, it gets to like 100 where I'm at. I guess it hasn't. I think it, I mean, almost has. I feel like 98's been the highest so far. As I've seen it. Little bird. Little bird, little mushroom. Oh, this. You like drawing, dude? You ever tried drawing? Dude, this chick right here actually shreds. I actually really like this chick's run. 113, wow. Maybe it did get that hot here. I don't really check the temperature that much. I just know it gets really, really hot. My favorite part is this little rabbit. It's just so funny looking. Raven images. I know, it's kind of a trippy thing to think about, huh? From my understanding, from what I've learned, I might be wrong too. These believers might be wrong too, but they basically said it as long as you're not worshiping images, like treating it as a god or an idol above God. Because then some people go into like how like God commanded. Who built the tabernacle? Was that Moses or was that Solomon? I think it was Moses. You know, like if you read the building the temple and how he said to put the images on top of the frames and to make the tabernacle of all that stuff. But wait, you didn't know that? I might be wrong on it too. I don't know. That's what I've heard from other believers. But they might be wrong too. So I do not know. But it wasn't either. Alright, let's write this verse in here. We are on to the verse. Hopefully I can fit it in there. Maybe I should do it with the other pen. Let me see if this is the right pen. It is. Bezaleel and Paul was the one that constructed it. Moses told them what to do. Huh. We making pretty good time though. We making pretty good time up in here. Why people hate the truth? I don't know, what do you think about it? Should people not be drawing? It has conflicted me a bit, but then it's weird because I have a bunch of believers telling me it's okay as long as I'm not making it an idol. As long as I keep God first. Or if I could give glory to God in it. But I might be wrong too. I don't know. Maybe the believers are wrong. I guess there is some interesting history within Christian artwork, because I do remember there was a big thing when people were like illiterate and stuff like that. It is especially when it, although it says any graven image. What would you think? Even just a video would be a graven image? I have seen that question pop up on Reddit. That's what you should look up. Comes a tree. But I have thought about it. That's the other thing. It hasn't not crossed my mind. Just what believers tell me is as long as I'm not putting it above God, or if I could give God glory, that's what He has us to steward or something like that. The birds of the air I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory I will not give another, neither my praise to graven images. Yeah, it is a strange one, right? It's weird because, like, I have brought it up, and maybe, I don't know, maybe pastors are kind of scared because then, like, I mean, would all video games be graven images? I really don't know, right? Just any image whatsoever. Like, would movies and stuff? I don't know, right? that, I guess that is another strange thing with Catholicism and Orthodoxy, because they have what are those things called? Icons, right? I think they call them icons. Sculpting. I mean, I guess we think about graven. I guess that, what is that? Is that cutting into? I'm not sure, actually. Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm actually curious now to look it up. Can Christians draw? Because I have been conflicted as well. See, if we look this up, there's I generally read a lot of these, right? So it is interesting seeing what people say about it. Well, I'm at 1%. I'm going to check my phone up. Where's my phone at? 100%. I am curious too. Because it has crossed my mind a lot. I guess not a lot, but... Those who have ears that cannot... will become just like them. Yeah, see, let's read this one. You should ask it on Reddit too. It'd be interesting to see what people say on it. So this person says, does drawing and painting break? You shall not make yourself a carved image. Considering God himself commanded the creation of angel statues to adorn the Ark of the Covenant. And then there's a lot of people that have asked this too. Huh. But it is interesting to think about, right? I don't know, what would you say on all these? See, they're saying if you don't make it an idol, right? Now they're saying in Islam, it's definitely more of a kind of a bigger thing, right? There's a lot on Reddit. You should ask on Reddit. If you go on like Our Christianity and stuff like that. But I have thought about it too. guess that's an interesting one, right? Let's see what Got Question says on this. Let's read this one. I'm actually curious. Let's see what it says. I generally read a lot of these. What does the Bible say about art? The first mention of art in the Bible is in Exodus 31. God is instructing Moses to create a tent for the Ark of the Covenant. And God mentions several artisans from whom he has chosen to create artistic designs. To beautify the tent, God says, in the hearts of all who are skillful, I have put skill. We learn two things about God's view of art in this passage. He likes it, and he is the source of it. He wants man to create beautiful things, and their skill in doing so from him. I feel like that's kind of a trippy thing to think about, right? I think it's becoming an idol, right? But let's read these. Later in 1 Kings 6, we see Solomon creating a temple for the Lord. In verse 4, artistic frames were made for the house. This reinforces the fact that God does desire beauty and likes to be surrounded by it. As Solomon did not think that God was glorified by beauty, he would never have taken the trouble to create artistic window frames. Again, in Song of Solomon, the beauty of the bride is compared to the work of the hands of the artist in 7:1. God is the creator, he is the artist whose hands create beauty. It follows that any beauty we create is glorifying to God, our creator. I guess that's kind of a big one. What are we glorifying ultimately, right? That said, it is important to define beauty. Art that is created to shock or horrify or to glorify or elicit sin, violence, lust, greed, cannot be called beautiful. But it is still art. But not art that glorifies God. Using Exodus 31:3 as a guide, art that glorifies God should exhibit skill, ability, and craftsmanship. Art that models God's handiwork will be creative, intelligent, and well-crafted. It will have value. But see, this is I guess this is kind of where it does get a little trippy, right? And this is actually where I've had a lot of critiques from other believers. They're like, "Oh, well, why am I promoting violence or stuff like that?" See how even no one says violence, right? But then the thing is that if we look into a lot of video games, I'm just going to be like the nitty gritty. What's most video games? Most video games, it's like kill, steal, destroy things. It's like, I'm going to be flat out honest, it's kind of gnarly. But the thing is I was trying to, earlier I was trying to kind of give God glory, and it was hard though. And then I got a lot of weird critiques from people and kind of changed a lot of my own thought process. But I'm still confused on it all as well. Keep reading. God will not put an artist's heart to make things that will elicit sinful responses in others. Mark 9:42. He will not lead a person to create that which contradicts his nature. Artisans who create idols may be skillful in Isaiah 40:19, but they're using their skill to pervert God's glory and not honor it. This doesn't mean that all art has to be like the Sistine Chapel, however, or that it can only depict biblical subjects like Jesus on the cross or disciples in a boat. God dwells in the perfection of beauty, Psalms 52, and his holiness is beauty, 1 Chronicles 16:29, and Psalms 29:2. In creating God-glorifying art, the artist's goal should be to lift the soul of man toward heaven and to illumine in new ways the multifaceted beauty of God's holiness, power, and grace. There are literally millions of ways artists can depict God's glory. Their creativity and skill that God has placed in their artists' hearts, heads, and hands will guide them to create art that will help us transcend the ugliness and pollution of this world. However, their medium, paint, pencil, textiles, marble, metal, drama, music, act, artists share a common mission, and we are a special and valuable part of God's kingdom. So I guess that is a strange thing, right? I guess ultimately, if we really, I guess this is what this is saying, right? But it is kind of a, ultimately, I guess it's like, are we creating things that are trying to glorify God, or are we trying to glorify other things? But here's the problem, right? The problem now is that what happens if the economy is so intergrained with violence and wanting to promote things that are not of God, right? I mean, imagine if I had, how crazy would this be, right? Imagine if I had every single video game company come up to me right now and I'm like, hey, can you guys put one Bible verse in your video game? Can you guys put... That's all I ask. You guys just put one Bible verse in your video game. How many people do you think would do that, right? That would be hilarious. But the thing is, I guess sometimes it, it'd be a little strange, put a Bible verse. Imagine like you shooting people and you're like, oh, well, let's love our enemies, everybody. Right? Be hilarious. But I don't know, right? I've gotten some weird critiques from believers. I'm gonna be flat out honest. Especially drawing like the armor of God stuff. And I'm gonna put a little peace sign right here. Actually, I'm gonna do it with a little pen. You decided to quit playing games? Video games? The thing is, a lot of believers I feel like are on different paths, because I used to play a lot of video games, I mean, even on Twitch, that's the other thing. Yeah, there's a lot of believers on Twitch that play video games, so I'm not saying everything's bad. Sometimes I just feel like people are in different, faith levels. Maybe I don't want to say faith levels, but faith growth, in their stage of maybe where they are in terms of a plant. Plant, baby. Chest, pretty much. I guess the other thing is what games kind of promote loving our enemies and stuff, right? I guess that would be a question, right? Now, there is the pacifist run you could do. I actually did used to do pacifist runs. I have them on my YouTube, actually. If you go onto my YouTube, because this stream actually used to be a WoW stream. This stream that you're watching right here, this very stream that you're seeing right now, this actually used to be a World of Warcraft stream. Like, no lie, this is how it started out. And what's actually really strange is I have them on my YouTube, but I started playing WoW, doing pacifist runs, right? Just because I was getting weird critique. Man, some believers are just strange. I guess I understand what some believers brought up to me, because at the time, people were like, I had believers say, oh, well, you should try and give God glory. You have, God's given you this ability to draw. You should give God glory and stuff like this, right? But I was really into video games, right? And so I would draw like these gnarly knights fighting demons and, killing demons and stabbing people and all this stuff. And then I had all these believers tell me, well, I'm starting to, I'm promoting violence and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you guys said I should try and give God glory, and then it's like, I don't know. Then it was all weird, because then it was like, then I had believers all conflicted, and then I had to do my own due diligence. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be loving our enemies and not killing them, and we're supposed to be loving our neighbor as ourselves. And then like, it got really, really confusing actually. And then it was actually really harsh on me mentally, because the thing is that nobody showed me how to do it, right? It was kind of like I just got thrown out. Like, they're just like, okay, give God glory. Wait a minute, don't give God glory this way, do it this. And then I'm like, well, can you guys show me how to do it? And then nobody really showed me how to do it. And so now I'm just kind of here. That makes any sense, right? Because I have some like gnarly, I like kind of have toned them down a bit, but I'd still draw like knights and stuff. Like, here, I'll show you. Let's see if I can find like a gnarlier one. It's like hard to make all the believers happy. That's the thing. That's what I've actually figured out. It's like I'm almost at the point where it's like I feel like I can't make everybody happy. Like I try and like change my ways, but it's like even when I change my ways, then I'm just making somebody else feel weird, you know? Like, see, I have drawn like stuff like this, like that Paladin, right? But now I draw them a lot more like, you know, not as like violent posed, maybe more like stoic-ish. Let's see if some other ones up in here. I want to see some, like, so we got like this one. I've tried to get it to the point where I'm trying not to promote violence, right? But see another one that I've been. I have tons of them. I'm just trying to show you some examples of it. See, like these ones are way less lax of like kind of promoting the violent stuff, right? I used to draw these knights like fighting things, right? And that's what started tripping people out. Because they're like, I don't know, but I always just thought, well, shouldn't we be fighting the demons and stuff like that? I was always kind of like on that thing, right? Like, let's fight the demons, let's kill the demons. And when I was a little kid, and then, I don't know, then believers were all tripped out, and they're like, well, you shouldn't be, I don't know, man, it was weird, but. See, like this knight is gnarly. See? So now that's kind of why I don't draw like fight scenes, right? I just kind of just like, draw, just draw just the characters itself, right? And that's actually what kind of got me into doing just the floating swords and stuff like that. Which then I started putting the hearts on the swords. Like, see this one? That's actually what kind of got me doing the heart on the sword. Because then I had all these people saying, oh, well, I'm promoting violence and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand that you guys are bringing up the verses of loving our enemies. And then like, okay, well, I'm just going to start putting a heart on the sword. Now, how crazy would it be if we just started putting a heart on like guns and stuff like that? It'd be just hilarious, right? I don't know. I don't know what some believers think about all this stuff, right? But I don't know. It's weird. I'm talking about this because I live in a house that has, what are you talking about, 120 of what? 120 of what? Yeah, I've been trying to kind of go more the peace route. Especially like stuff like this, doing the sword and the little heart and stuff. Graven images. What is it? What do they look like? I mean, are they promoting God or are they not promoting God? That's actually weird, actually, just reading that commentary we just read. This is actually really weird reading this one now. Because then it's like, what do you say about all art then, right? Because, like, not all art could be glorifying God, right? But I guess, I don't know, man. That's really weird to think about now. I don't know what to think about that now. Huh. I don't know. You got to take these Bible... I don't know who writes these, by the way, so you got to take it with a grain of salt, but it is kind of strange. Anyway, hopefully we could try to give God glory in some way. I try to put a little cross right there, a little cross on the necklace, cross right here with the shield of faith, got a little peace sign, boots of the sandals of the gospel peace. Try to put a Bible verse. I don't know what else believers want me to do. I've tried not to draw fighting scenes, even though when I was younger I wanted to draw fighting scenes, but I guess it gets on believers' nerves, which is weird because I just go, well, it's like, see, and that's the thing, and that's actually what changes a lot of like, and this is actually what's really confused me, right? So it's okay to play a video game and kill and things and stuff like that, but if you're the one creating the video game, that is when something changes. And that's what trips me out, because I'm like, well, I'm just trying to, and I don't know. I'm in a whole strange loop of it. Now I just go, okay, well, I'm just going to try and give God glory somehow. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Anyway, I need to change this back to art. I guess no, I'm in BMX streets, aren't I? I need to go back to art. We already drew the BMX bike. But the other thing I was told by some believers is that there was this point in history within the realms and scopes of Christianity, and the weird thing is like there was a small select few individuals in society at that time period that were actually literate, that they can actually read these things and understand the gospel, right? So what these churches and believers started doing is they started commissioning artists to help represent the gospel, right? And so then people that weren't able to read, they were able to because I think that's the strange thing, I guess, about drawing and stuff like that, is it is kind of like a universal language, right? You see, it's like kind of like you could show this to any, maybe not this in particular, but you could see something in a different language and they can maybe understand it a little bit, have a little grasp on it. But I probably make no sense. You can look it up. There's some interesting documentary. I think there was a documentary. Which one was it? It was something like, there's a bunch of like old history. I think if you type in on YouTube like the start of Christianity in how did Christianity emerge and how did it grow and stuff like that. The very, very strange thing, which is actually almost like the strange, ironic paradox of it, because we use the word somewhat in a negative connotation, is there are a bunch of these documentaries, and it's kind of strange because when Christianity was emerging, the Jewish and Roman leaders used to call it a cult. It's actually hilarious, right? Because we almost use that same word now, but it's almost funny because the Jewish leaders and the Roman leaders in the beginning were calling it, because basically cult means to grow, right? So if anything's really growing, could be somewhat considered that. If you look that word up in the Latin definition of that word. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I wish people could show me that more. If you guys have any aspects to show me, I'd love to see it. Or if I should do it, I'd do it a different way, or do it this way, or do it that way. But I'd like to think I'm trying to acknowledge God in all my ways, but I don't know if I'm doing it right? I apologize if I'm offending anybody. I do apologize if I am. Which that's why I steer clear of doing the the violent, fighting ones, just because I feel like I upset some believers, and I guess not upset believers, but I don't know, it's just weird. It's just, I don't know, it's just very strange for me. I probably sound like a crazy person, but I don't know, it's weird. I guess it's just so different if you're creating the game, which this isn't even a game, right? This is just me drawing, right? But, so I guess that's the weird thing, right? So imagine if you were a believer, right? And then you were tasked to create a video game, right? What would you be promoting, right? Would you be promoting killing, stealing, destroying? We're just going to destroy everything? Or are we going to put Bible verses in it? I don't know, right? And that's kind of when it gets really conflicting on the mind, I guess. And I'm still conflicted on it too, because I don't really know. I don't know, man. Man, it's a trip, huh? I have gotten my own critiques from it as well, so. Alrighty. We're almost done, everybody. And then we might watercolor it tomorrow. Yeah. Put the halo right there. You can see it on YouTube? What YouTube? What YouTube? Okay, I'm gonna put on the wooden thing, and we're gonna call it a day. By the way, if any of you guys have any sermons on any of those topics, please, I'd love to hear them because it's a very weird thing to talk about. I know it is. It's weird. I know it's weird because I've gotten critiqued from it. It's basically what I've heard is it's okay to play video games, but if you're the one creating the video game and then you're creating violence and stuff like that, then that's bad. But that's just what trips me out. It's like, it's okay for me to play it, but then if I'm the one creating it, then I'm doing the wrong thing. And then I'm just like, well, I don't know. It's a trip, man. Oh yeah, I want some on YouTube. And then the other thing is, what if it was just your profession, you know? Like, what if that was your job to create video games, but you had no say on the matter of trying to give God glory, right? I guess that's kind of another confusing part, which I've been confused on as well. I don't know, everybody. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. That's not my intentions. I'm just trying to learn. If you guys have any sermons on this, I'd love to hear it. When you know, I disagree with that. When you know it's wrong, it's wrong. Yeah, I mean, you could look it up on questions, right? You know, because people, if you type in, you know, if you just type in, are video games wrong or something like that, you know, people say they're not. A lot of people say they're not, right? It's just, I guess it's just when you're the one creating the video game, that's when it becomes weirdly in a strange other level. Which I wish pastors would have just, I really wish pastors just would have told me that in the beginning. It's okay to play the video games, but then when you're the one creating anything, I guess, that's when it gets a little hairy, I guess, in the minds of people. But nobody told me that in the beginning. I had to just go in and just, I guess, learn it for myself or something like that. But now I just laugh at it because I'm like, wow, that was a really very, very confusing time in my life, but I learned a lot from it. I did not come out of that not learning anything. I had to learn. I went full into Bible studies on like loving our enemy, loving our neighbors, you know, all this crazy stuff, which is it's actually very funny. It's actually some of the most profound statements from the Lord that even people in different religions, people that are in psychology, you know, all of this stuff. It's very, very interesting. You just even loving our enemies, right? Can you love your enemy? That is a very, very, very strange one. Do good to those who hate you. Pray for those who persecute you. Very, very interesting to think about that. So much so that it's actually like, it's still profound even 1,000 years into the future from when, or 2,000 years from when Jesus said that, right? And what's weird is, it's kind of strange is that there was this one believer guy, he started talking about tribalism, right? And tribalism and how you get one, you know, generally since humans don't have eyes in the back of our heads, right? We don't have eyes in the back of our heads. Generally humans are prone to just wanting to team up with people that we relate with, right? But then once there's an aspect of teaming up with people that we relate with, and then they go, well, they're on their own tribe, they're against us versus them, and then it creates an us versus them mentality, right? And then what starts happening is then tribalism starts merging, right? But then here is the ringer that really changes all of this stuff within the Great Commission, right? The strange thing about the Great Commission is the Great Commission goes into, we're called to make disciples of what? We're called to make disciples of all nations. Not just one race of people, not just one nation, all nations, right? And this is the weird thing about what Jesus was talking about loving even our enemy. Can we love even our enemy and go past the primal nature of tribalism that even we still do today? You can see it today. It's actually crazy. And can we even go past that barrier even to the point of, very, very interesting. I probably make no sense whatsoever, but you can look it up. There's so many crazy sermons and stuff on just loving our enemies and loving our neighbor as ourselves and all this stuff. But then the other thing I also want to mention is that we're also called to meekness, right? Now, a lot of people, when we think about meekness, we think about, maybe being pushover, being like weak, but from what I've heard from some pastors and sermons is that meekness is kind of like having controlled strength. And they brought up something, I think it's the Greek rendition of the word meek. I think it means control. I might be wrong. I haven't done a study on it in a while, but I think it means controlled strength, right? And it's a very interesting aspect of, imagine if you were very, very strong. Like, let's see if you were like one of these like gnarly knights or something like this. Imagine if you were like a gnarly knight like this, right? Imagine if this guy could just like fully just kill so many people, right? Just have the strength just to take out so many people, kill all his enemies or whatever, right? But could this person, within that, having that sort of strength, could he have the controlled strength to even still love your enemy, even amidst persecution or getting attacked and stuff like that? Really crazy to think about, actually. But I probably just sound like a crazy person, but you guys can look it up. There's a bunch of sermons on all this stuff. Samson example? I guess, yeah. Well, I guess the Old Testament gets a little different, right? Because the Old Testament, there is a lot of wars, and there is a lot of like fighting and this and that. But under the New Covenant, there's so much, under the New Covenant's way different, right? And I'm not saying that we're all perfect, by the way. That's the other thing. But sometimes we all have to learn this stuff in various rates. But anyway, I'm going to get a thumbnail for this, and I'm going to end the stream because it is a long stream. Holy chabunga. So I'm going to turn off the BMX video. And we're going to turn off the image slideshow. We're going to turn off the text thing. And turn off this. We're going to get some close-ups for people. And I also want to say, anybody that even is watching, going to watch this, I'm not like the grand arbiter saying that video games are wrong or this is wrong and this, because you'll get different opinions from many believers, actually. That's the thing, right? All I'm saying is that just be warned. If you're the one creating things or creating the video game and you're a believer, that's when other believers get really, I guess more, I wouldn't say strict, but I don't know what word would be used. Just more analytical, I guess. I don't know. But then if you have no say on the matter, imagine if you're playing a game and even though you wanted to give God glory, but you had no say on the matter, right? Like, what are you going to do then, right? It's like, that's the very confusing part for me. But anyway, my bad, everybody, if I have brought in any confusion. That's not my intention, but let's just try and draw happy things. Look at this little happy monkey, little happy bunny, little squirrel. This is the verse we put in there. Matthew 13:32 is the smallest of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is larger than all the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. And thinking about Luke 8:11, and Luke 8:11 is the seed is the word of God, and the seed grows in our heart, and in some weird way, even just kind of like what this verse kind of goes into, we actually start becoming like tree people. It's actually very strange. So I'm going to get a thumbnail for this, and we are going to call it a day. guys get some close-ups. There's the bicycle. There's the kitty cat. There's the squirrel with the seed. And let's get the thumbnail, and I'm going to call it a day. You should ask that question to other people. I'm actually curious what other people would say. Because I've thought about it. That's the thing, you know, the whole, like, graven image thing, and it's I really have thought about it, man. Because I've had, you know, I mean, I draw, you know, that it's like, I'm wondering if there what other believers think on it, right? That do draw or like stuff like that. Most ignore your questions are hard. They're definitely you know, but I feel like some people don't even think about stuff like that, right? But yeah, I have thought of. That's the thing. That's why I am answering your questions, because I actually have thought about some of this stuff, right? Me personally, especially after putting so much hours and hours and hours of drawing and stuff like that. But anyway, thanks for the questions, and thanks for sharing the scriptures, man. It's always, you know, edifying. We can hopefully learn and exhort one another, and hopefully we can learn things, right? But I'm out of here, dude. It is late. I need to cook food for me and my pops. It is actually very, very late. Holy chamunga. And I'm out of here. Blessings to you guys. Anybody that watches this, thank you for tuning in. And this concludes the stream. Audio stream.